Dear sisters, brothers, and beloved soulmates, I am Ramon Krishna Vadapalli, the owner of this channel, dedicated to promoting a moral and spiritual society worldwide. Our main objective is to share the epic story of the Mahabharata, which serves as a rich collection of spiritual and moral teachings. This includes the Bhagavad Gita, a profound source of enlightenment for all humanity. I kindly ask all viewers to subscribe, like, and share this channel to support our mission. The Mahabharata comprises a total of 589 stories, each contributing to our understanding of life and spirituality. Please subscribe and share and support me for more likewise. Thank you. Yours, Vadapalli Ramon Krishna, ancient yoga trainer. Sabha Parvam of the Mahabharata marks a pivotal turning point in the journey of the Pandavas. The glory, failure, and adherence to Dharma that they attained in the Adi Parva are further expanded in Sabha Parva, eventually leading to complex and intense developments. In this section, Yudhishthira is crowned king and establishes a rule grounded in righteousness. The Parva begins with a description of the construction of the Mayasabha, a marvelous architectural wonder created by Vishwakarma and the demon architect Mayasura. In this very hall, Yudhishthira performs the grand Rajasuya Yagna. One of the significant episodes during this Yagna is the slaying of Shishupala, which clearly delineates the boundaries between Dharma, righteousness, and Adharma, unrighteousness. The most critical and dramatic event in this Parva is the game of dice. Here, Shakuni cunningly exploits Yudhishthira's unwavering commitment to Dharma. As a result, the Pandavas lose their throne, their wealth, their brothers, and ultimately, even Draupadi, in the gamble. This marks one of the most humiliating phases in their lives. The incident of Draupadi's disrobing becomes the centerpiece of this Parva, symbolizing an unresolved battle between righteousness, the dignity of women, and the overwhelming power of Adharma. Sabha Parva is not merely about battles for honor, it is the moment where the Pandavas' journey toward exile begins. It is also where the foundations for the Kurukshetra war are laid. In essence, Sabha Parva is a journey from pride to humility, from triumph to humiliation, from Dharma to its ultimate test. It stands as one of the most significant turning points in the epic Mahabharata. Mayasabha. People, Jaya Maharaja. After Sri Krishna and Arjuna sat on the banks of the Yamuna river, the demon architect Mayu humbly worshipped Arjuna with great reverence. Partha. You saved me not only from the consuming fire of the Khandava Forest but also from the wrath of Sri Krishna. In gratitude for sparing my life, please command me, what can I do in return for your greatness? He asked with folded hands. Arjuna, modest as always, replied, just do something for Lord Krishna. That would be a service to me. Turning to Damodara, the ever-compassionate Krishna, Mayu asked, what should I do? Krishna, after thinking for a moment, said, I want nothing for myself, but build a grand assembly hall for Dharmaraja Yudhishthira. Let it be of such divine craftsmanship that even the Arbalas and Gopalas stand in awe. Let it amaze not just mortals but even gods and demons. You, the master craftsman, must create a marvel beyond all wonders of the world. Mayu gladly accepted the task. With Krishna and Arjuna, he journeyed to meet Yudhishthira, who honored Mayu with great respect. The architect shared stories of wondrous demons and, after staying with the Pandavas for some time, decided to build an extraordinary assembly hall that would please them and Sri Krishna. On an auspicious day, he began the project after performing sacred ceremonies, feeding 1,000 Brahmins with rice and porridge, offering generous alms and dakshinas, and invoking blessings in every season. He chose a beautiful spot and measured an area of 10,000 square meters for the grand hall. Soon after, Sri Krishna took leave of the Pandavas and returned to Dwaraka to visit his father, Vasudeva. Mayu then approached Arjuna and said, if I am to build the greatest assembly hall, I must journey to a certain place. Near Mount Kailasa lies the Mainaka mountain. In ancient times, when the Rakshasas performed a great sacrifice there, I created a rare and magnificent gem at the sacred Bindu lake. That gem was once used in their grand assembly. If it still exists, I shall retrieve it. It will bring Dharmaraja unparalleled fame, and the hall will radiate joy and wonder. Also, in that lake lies a mighty mace used by the Rakshasa king Vrishaparva. It is said to equal a lakh ordinary maces, adorned in gold, and unbreakable in battle. This weapon will be perfect for the powerful Bhima. Furthermore, in that lake lies the divine conch shell of Arjuna. I will bring that as well." With the blessings of the Pandavas, Mayu set off toward the northeast. He reached the mountain of Mayana and the nearby sacred hermitage of the great sage Hiranyashrinath, where Bindu Lake is located. After retrieving the treasures guarded by demonic guardians, Mayu returned to Indraprastha with the golden mace, the celestial conch, and radiant crystal gems. He presented the golden mace to Bhima, and the divine conch shell, named Devadatta, to Arjuna. The moment Devadatta was blown, its terrifying sound shook all living beings. Using the vast collection of gems and divine elements, Mayu then constructed and gifted a magnificent assembly hall to Yudhishthira. This hall, shining with otherworldly brilliance and architectural mastery, became known far and wide as the world-renowned Mayasabha, a hall of wonders and a symbol of divine craftsmanship ushering in the next grand chapter of the Mahabharata, the Sabha Parvam. Description of the Mayasabha. O Janamajaya! The assembly hall built by the great architect Mayu measured 10,000 cubits in length and 10,000 cubits in width. It radiated a brilliance that rivaled the grandeur of the celestial halls of the sun and moon. Golden trees, as luminous as 1,000 suns, stood tall within the hall, and the dazzling gems used in its construction made the sunlight itself seem dim in comparison. Such was its splendor that even a mere glance at it would cleanse one's sins. The entire structure was crafted from the finest materials, the walls and gates were adorned with precious gems, and every surface bore exquisite artwork of unimaginable beauty. O Sutta, words fail to describe the wonder that Mayu created. Even the famed assemblies of Krishna and Brahma paled in comparison to this majestic Mayasabha. 8,000 powerful and fearsome demons known as Kinkaras, each with massive forms, bright red and purple eyes, cow-like ears, and unmatched strength, carried the assembly. These mighty beings, well versed in warfare and celestial knowledge, had the ability to transport the entire hall from one place to another. They delivered this wondrous hall to Dharmaraja Yudhishthira. Inside this assembly, Mayu constructed a magnificent pavilion unparalleled in all three worlds. He crafted lotus pillars from rare Indra sapphires and decorated the pond with rubies carved into lotuses, emitting sweet fragrances. Birds of various hues, also crafted from rubies, were placed around the pond. Golden fish and turtles swam through crystalline channels filled with the purest water. When gentle breezes rippled the water, droplets splashed upon the ruby lotuses, shimmering like falling pearls. Ruby piers adorned the four corners of the pond, so realistic and stunning that some mistook the artificial pond for real and leapt into it. Surrounding the assembly were blossoming flower trees, their vibrant blooms dancing in the breeze, casting a soothing shade and creating a divine atmosphere. The area was encircled by lush gardens that delighted the senses, and smaller ponds teemed with melodious birds, swans, wagtails, and wheel-winged birds, filling the air with their sweet calls. The fragrance of water lilies and blooming lotuses wafted through the fields and courtyards, uplifting the hearts of all who visited. For 14 months, Mayu devoted himself tirelessly to constructing this marvel, fulfilling the prophecy of Nabuto Nabhavishati, that which never existed before and will never exist again. After completing the divine hall and receiving the warm hospitality of Dharmaraja, Mayu respectfully took leave of Arjuna and departed on his own journey, leaving behind a legacy of unmatched architectural brilliance. Dharmaraja entering the assembly. Afterwards, at an auspicious time, Dharmaraja Yudhishthira entered the Grand Mayasabha, following a noble and sacred tradition. He hosted a magnificent feast, feeding 10,000 Brahmins with offerings that included a drink prepared with honey and ghee, a wide variety of fruits and tubers, meat from wild animals such as ladybug and wild boar, spinach, havishya, Vedic food offerings, and many other vegetarian dishes prepared in 4 distinct types of culinary styles. Each Brahmin received offerings of fine clothing, and to honor their presence, Dharmaraja gifted each of them 1,000 cows and oxen. The air was filled with the holy chants of Brahmins, mingling with the melodious sounds of auspicious instruments and the fragrance of incense, which spread across all directions and to all living beings. After establishing and worshipping the deities of their respective places within the assembly, Dharmaraja completed all remaining Vedic rites and fully assumed his role as a righteous householder. Wrestlers, actors, jesters, bards, suitors, and musicians with violins came forth to serve and entertain. Surrounded by his valiant brothers, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva, Dharmaraja shone with divine grace, resembling Indra seated in the grandeur of heaven. Eminent elders from distant regions such as Konakona and great sages from Kanakana gathered and took their seats alongside Dharmaraja in that splendid assembly. O people, I, Vaisampayana, as well as other revered sages such as Asita, Devala, Maitreya, Shunaka, Vyasa, Srisuka, Sumantu, Jaimini, Pila, Titiri, Yajnavalkya, my son Romaharshana, Dormya, Korsika, Markandeya, Brigu, Nachiketa, Gautama, Sandilya, and many more, graced the occasion with our presence. Kings from various regions and realms also participated in this historic gathering. Among them were Angavonga, the son of the Pandya king, the kings of Odra, Andhra, Kirata, Shaibaya, Salya, Cambodia, Kritavarma, and the fierce warrior Satyaka Bhishma. These noble rulers, after making generous offerings, joined Dharmaraja in the celebrations of the Grand Assembly. In addition to these dignitaries, the sons of Vrishniraja, who were learning the science of astrology under Arjuna, also took part, along with many other young Kshatriya warriors who had become attendants of the assembly. 27 celestial Gandharvas, including Chitrasena and Arjuna's dear friend Thambura, graced the Sabha with their presence. Skilled lute players and expert musicians added to the splendor, making the Mayasabha a hub of divine brilliance, knowledge, and joyous celebration. Narada enters the assembly of Maya. As usual, when Dharmaraja was seated in his grand assembly, the sage Narada, a close friend of Sarvakitha and a divine traveler known for his wisdom, arrived at the Sabha. Accompanying him were the revered sages Parijata, Parvata, and Raivata. Upon seeing Narada entering the hall, the members of the assembly rose in respect, and Dharmaraja, along with his brothers, stood up with folded hands, welcomed the sage with reverence, and offered salutations by bowing down before him. He then respectfully seated Narada on a high, honorable seat and performed the customary offerings, Arghyapadyas, ceremonial water, a cow, and honey. After these rituals, the divine sage Narada engaged in a profound conversation with Dharmaraja. Their dialogue delved into the nature of righteous conduct and the threefold relationship that exists between virtuous desires, particularly the dharmic interactions between man and woman. This marked the beginning of a significant philosophical exchange that would lead into deeper discussions about human values, duties, and the path to harmony in both individual and societal life.